Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Ellen White Speaks, where we share excerpts from the writings of author Ellen G. White. Today is Friday, March 15th. I'm Pastor Vince. So glad you're back with me. And I've decided to do something different, meaning I decided to read from a different Ellen G. White book. We've spent some time in The Desire of Ages, and it was time well spent, but I decided to read from Christ's Object Lessons today. This is not the first time I've read from Christ's Object Lessons, but it's just been a while. And I believe I had said, I recall saying that, hey, we're going to come back, we're going to circle back to Christ's Object Lessons. But anyway, at any rate, we're back to Christ's Object Lessons. I'm going to be reading from chapter 2 this time, because the last time I was reading from chapter 1 called Teaching in Parables. Now I'm going to be reading from The Sower Went Forth to Sow, which is based on Matthew chapter 13, 1 through 9, 18 through 23, Mark 4, 1 through 20, and Luke 8, 4 through 15. And I just want to say, for those of you who've been wondering, why do we have a segment called Ellen White Speaks? Well, the bottom line is, many of you, we understand, may not be familiar with Ellen G. White's writings, and this is one way for us to introduce her writings to you. She's written so many books covering so many topics. I don't know if we could read through all of her books. I mean, we certainly do not own every one of her books here at the ministry, but you can find her writings online, so forth and so on, and other places. So yeah, this is just one way for us to introduce her writings to you. So that's why we have this segment called Ellen White Speaks. So let me go ahead and read from Christ's Object Lessons, chapter 2. The sower went forth to sow. She says, by the parable of the sower, Christ illustrates the things of the kingdom of heaven and the work of the great husbandman for his people. Like a sower in the field, he came to scatter the heavenly grain of truth. And his parable teaching itself was the seed with which the most precious truths of his grace were sown. Because of its simplicity, the parable of the sower has not been valued as it should be. From the natural seed cast into the soil, Christ desires to lead our minds to the gospel seed, the sowing of which results in bringing man back to his loyalty to God. He who gave the parable of the tiny seed is the sovereign of heaven, and the same laws that govern earthly seed sowing govern the sowing of the seeds of truth. So again, that comes from chapter 2, from Christ's Object Lessons. The Sower Went Forth to Sow by Ellen G. White. Please join us tomorrow for more of Ellen G. White Speaks. For more of Ellen White Speaks. That's what we're talking about. That's the name of this segment. Please join us tomorrow for more of Ellen White Speaks. I'm not sure if we're going to come from Christ's Object Lessons again. We may come from a different book, but we'll see what the Lord has in store. But at any rate, please join us tomorrow, if you will, for more of Ellen White Speaks. Tomorrow is the Sabbath. Until then, be blessed, have a great day, and by God's grace, God willing, please join us tomorrow.